Accidentally Dating, a romantic comedy novel by R.V. Sooya should have known something was wrong the moment Mia said, "Please, I need you to do this for me." She slowly looked up from her lunch. "What did you do?" "Nothing." That sounded suspiciously fast. Mia sighed and slid her phone across the table. There was a picture of a boy on the screen. Sooya looked at it. "Who is that?" "My crush." "So, I want you to ask him out for me." Sooya stared at her. "You want me to ask him out?" Mia nodded. "You know I can't do it myself." "You absolutely can." "I absolutely cannot." Sooya laughed. "Then what makes you think I can?" "Because you're brave." "I once avoided answering the professor because I didn't want him to look at me." "That was different." "How?" "You were academically terrified." Sooya rolled her eyes. Mia leaned closer. "Please." Sooya looked at the picture again. "Fine. What's his name?" "Kai." "Okay. Where do I find him?" "He's usually near the basketball court after class. And he'll probably be with his best friend Ren." Sooya nodded. "Kai. Basketball court. Ren is his best friend." "Exactly. And I'm supposed to tell Kai that you like him?" "Yes." "Then ask if he'd go out with you." "Yes." Sooya pointed at her. "And if this goes horribly, I'm never helping you again." Mia grinned. "Deal." After class, Sooya made her way toward the basketball court. She repeated everything in her head. Kai. Tell him Mia likes him. Ask him out. Simple. She reached the court and looked around. There were several students scattered around, talking and laughing. Then she spotted him. Tall. Dark hair. Black jacket. Exactly like the picture Mia had shown her. That's him. Sooya took a deep breath and walked toward him. "Excuse me." The boy turned around. And suddenly, Sooya forgot every word she'd practiced. He looked at her. She looked at him. Her heart started beating faster. "Okay. Just say it." "My friend." The boy waited. Sooya swallowed. Why was this suddenly so difficult? He gave her a small, curious smile. "Are you okay?" "Yes." She definitely wasn't. She looked at him again. And somehow the sentence that came out wasn't the one she'd rehearsed. "I like you, will you be my boyfriend?" Silence. Sooya froze. The boy froze too. Her eyes widened. Oh my God. She hadn't said, "My friend likes you. Will you be her boyfriend?" She had said, "I like you. Will you be my boyfriend?" The boy blinked. "You like me?" Sooya's face went completely red. "No, I..." She stopped. Because someone behind him suddenly shouted, "Ren! Are you coming or not?" Sooya's stomach dropped. "Ren." She looked at the boy in front of her. Then toward the voice. Then back at him. Oh no. This wasn't Kai. This was Ren. Kai's best friend. She had come to ask Kai out for Mia. And accidentally asked Ren out instead. And somehow she'd managed to make an even bigger mistake by confessing her own feelings. Sooya opened her mouth. "I actually..." Silence. Ren looked at her for a moment. "You like me?" Sooya's heart nearly stopped. She opened her mouth. "I actually..." But before she could explain, Ren simply nodded. "Okay." Sooya stared at him. "Okay." He gave her a small smile. "Okay." And somehow that simple answer made everything 10 times more complicated. Because now she had to explain that she had meant to say, "My friend likes you." Except, she still hadn't actually said it. And Ren had already accepted her confession. Sooya walked away from the basketball court as quickly as she could without actually running. The moment she reached the cafeteria, she spotted Mia sitting at their usual table. Mia looked up the second she saw her. So, Sooya dropped into the seat opposite her. He said okay. Mia blinked. Okay. Yes. That means yes. I know. So why don't you look happy? Sooya closed her eyes. Mia. What? I think I made a mistake. What kind of mistake? Sooya took a deep breath. The biggest kind. Mia leaned forward. Just tell me. I think I asked the wrong person. What? I thought I was talking to Kai. Mia stared at her. But it wasn't Kai. Then who was it? Sooya lowered her voice. Ren. Mia went silent. Ren? Yes. Kai's Ren. Yes. The Ren who's basically always with him. Yes. Mia's eyes widened. Oh my god. I know. But how did you even? And that's not even the worst part. Mia hesitated. What could possibly be worse? Sooya covered her face with both hands. I was supposed to say, my friend likes you. Yeah. I said, I like you. Mia's mouth fell open. Sooya groaned. I don't know what happened. He was looking at me and I got nervous and the words just came out. Sooya. I know. And then, he asked if I liked him. And, I tried to explain. So, someone called him Ren. Mia slowly said, oh no. And then I realized I had been talking to the wrong person the entire time. So what did you do? I tried to tell him. And, he just said. Sooya paused. Okay. Mia stared at her for a moment. Then she said carefully, so technically you have a boyfriend now. I do not have a boyfriend. You literally confessed to him. By accident. He doesn't know that. Sooya groaned. That is exactly the problem. Mia tried not to laugh. So what are you going to do? Sooya looked down at the table. I'll tell him tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes. Are you sure? Sooya nodded. Tomorrow I'll find him, explain everything properly, apologize, and fix this. She took a deep breath. It's not that bad. Mia snorted. You accidentally confessed to your friend's crush's best friend. When you say it like that, it sounds terrible. Because it is terrible. Sooya sighed. Tomorrow. She repeated it, almost like she was trying to convince herself. Tomorrow I'll tell Ren the truth. Mia reached across the table and gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. Don't worry. You'll fix it. Sooya managed a small smile. Yeah. She had made a mistake. A ridiculous, embarrassing mistake. But mistakes could be fixed. Right? At least. That was what she told herself that night. The next morning, Sooya woke up with one goal. Tell Ren the truth. That was it. No overthinking. No running away. No accidentally saying something else. She repeated the sentence to herself while getting ready. Ren, there was a misunderstanding yesterday. Simple. She practiced it again while walking to college. Ren, I need to explain what happened. Better. By the time she reached the college gate, she was almost confident. Almost. She looked around. She had been searching for Ren since she arrived, but she hadn't seen him anywhere. Maybe he was already inside. Sooya was about to walk through the gate when she heard a familiar voice. Hello, girlfriend. She stopped. Her heart immediately dropped. She slowly turned around. Ren was standing a few steps away, looking completely relaxed. Hello, girlfriend. Sooya stared at him. Girlfriend? Already? She had only accidentally confessed to him yesterday. And somehow he was already acting like this was the most normal thing in the world. She forced herself to breathe. Good morning. Ren smiled. You didn't wait for me. Sooya blinked. Wait for you? Yeah. He walked toward her. You're my girlfriend now. You don't have to ask. Sooya's brain stopped. This is it. She needed to correct him. Immediately. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Oh. Yes. About yesterday. Ren nodded. Okay. Sooya took a breath. My friend. Did you eat breakfast? She stopped. What? Breakfast? No, but that's not. You should eat. I can eat later. No. He said it so firmly that Sooya stared at him. There's a cafe near the gate. Come on. Ren, wait. He started walking. Sooya hurried after him. I really need to tell you something. You can tell me while we eat. No, it's important. So is breakfast. She frowned. Why are you acting like this? Ren glanced at her. Like what? Like. She couldn't even find the right words. Like you're my boyfriend. He looked at her for a second, then smiled. I am. Sooya stopped walking. Ren stopped too. For a moment, they simply looked at each other. Sooya gathered all her courage again. Ren, yesterday. He reached over and gently took her bag from her shoulder. I'll carry that. What? You're always carrying too much. She stared at him. But. Come on. And before she could say anything else, he started walking again. Sooya stood there for a moment, completely speechless. Then she hurried after him. I'll tell him after breakfast. That was what she decided. Surely, after breakfast, she'd finally get a chance. She had no idea that Ren had absolutely no intention of making it easy for her. Sooya sat across from Ren at the small cafe near the college gate, trying to gather enough courage to speak. She had already decided. This time, she was going to tell him. No matter what. Ren placed a cup in front of her. I got you this. Sooya looked down. Her favorite drink. She stared at it for a moment. How did you know I like this? Ren shrugged. You mentioned it yesterday. Oh. She wrapped her hands around the cup. Don't get distracted. She looked at him. Ren, I need to tell you something. He took a sip of his coffee. Him. About yesterday. You're going to be late. She blinked. What? Class. Sooya glanced at the time. They actually were running late. But I need to tell you. We can talk on the way. He stood up. Sooya sighed and followed him. Fine. On the way. They walked toward the college. Sooya tried again. Ren. Him. Yesterday when I came to you. Did you sleep well? She stopped walking. What? You look tired. I am tired, but that's not what I was going to say. You should sleep earlier. Sooya stared at him. Are you even listening to me? Ren smiled. Of course. Then let me talk. Okay. She took a breath. Yesterday I. Watch out. Ren suddenly reached for her arm and pulled her slightly away from a cyclist passing by. Sooya looked at him. He let go immediately. You okay? Yeah. She looked away. Focus, Sooya. They continued walking. She tried one more time. Ren, I really need to explain something about us. He glanced at her. Us. Yes. He smiled. I like the sound of that. Sooya's face warmed. That isn't what I meant. I know. Then let me finish. Okay. He held up his hands in surrender. Sooya stopped walking. Finally, she looked directly at him. Ren, By the way, I'm free after class. She stared at him. What? We could go somewhere. Ren. He laughed. What? I am trying to tell you something. I know. Then why do you keep interrupting me? He looked at her for a moment. Then casually said, because you keep looking so serious. So, I don't like seeing you worried. Sooya went quiet. For a second, she forgot what she had been trying to say. Ren smiled and started walking again. Come on, girlfriend. We're really going to be late. Sooya stood there for a moment, then sighed and followed him. I'll tell him after class. That was her new plan. She didn't know why it was becoming harder every time. Maybe because every time she looked at him, the words became a little more difficult to say. By the time they reached the college gate, Sooya had given up on trying to tell Ren anything. For now. She walked beside him, still holding the coffee he had bought her. The moment they entered the college, Mia spotted them. She stopped walking. Her eyes went from Sooya to Ren, to the bag Ren was carrying for her. Then back to Sooya. Sooya. Sooya immediately knew that tone. Don't. Mia hurried toward them. Why is Ren carrying your bag? Sooya opened her mouth. Before she could answer, Ren casually handed her bag back. She was carrying too much. Mia stared at him, then at Sooya, then at Ren again. Sooya. I can explain. Mia's eyebrows rose. Oh, I hope you can. Ren smiled. I'll see you later, girlfriend. And just like that, he walked away toward his classroom. Mia watched him leave, then slowly turned back to Sooya. So? Sooya swallowed. So? Do you want to tell me why the guy you accidentally confessed to is now calling you girlfriend? Sooya covered her face. Don't remind me. Mia grabbed her shoulders. What happened yesterday after I left? I told you what happened. No, you told me you accidentally said you liked him. You didn't tell me how you became an actual couple overnight. We didn't become a couple. Mia pointed toward the hallway where Ren had disappeared. He just called you his girlfriend. I know. And you let him. I was trying to explain. Then why didn't you? Sooya groaned. I tried. How many times? Too many. Mia crossed her arms. And he keeps interrupting me. Mia stared at her, then burst out laughing. This isn't funny. It kind of is. Mia. Okay. Mia tried to control herself. So what are you going to do? Sooya sighed. I'll tell him. When? Sooya looked toward Ren's classroom. After class. Mia gave her a suspicious look. You said that yesterday. I mean it this time. Mia smiled. Good. Then she leaned closer. But honestly. What? He seems pretty happy about being your boyfriend. Sooya's expression softened for just a second. She remembered his smile. The way he'd said hello, girlfriend. The way he'd carried her bag. The coffee he'd remembered she liked. She quickly shook the thoughts away. That's exactly why I need to tell him. Mia nodded. Then tell him. Sooya took a deep breath. After class. She repeated it again, as if saying it enough times would finally make it true. The bell rang, signaling the end of class. Sooya immediately packed her things. This time, no distractions, no excuses, no coffee, no walking her to class. She was going to find Ren and finally tell him the truth. She stepped into the hallway and looked around. Students were pouring out of classrooms, filling the corridor with noise. Then she spotted him. Ren was leaning against the wall near her classroom, waiting. The moment he saw her, his face brightened. There you are. Sooya stopped. Were you waiting for me? Of course. He pushed himself away from the wall. Let's go. Where? Lunch. Oh. He started walking beside her. Sooya took a breath. Ren. Him. I need to tell you something. Sure. She looked at him. He was actually listening this time. Finally, she opened her mouth. Yesterday when Do you want noodles or rice? Sooya stared at him. What? For lunch. She closed her eyes. Ren. What? I am trying to talk to you. I know. Then stop changing the subject. He smiled. Okay. Sooya took another breath. Yesterday, I came to the basketball court because you wanted to see me. She stopped. What? Ren looked at her with a completely straight face. You came all the way there to confess to me. Sooya's face turned red. That isn't. She stopped herself. She couldn't say it. Not yet. Ren smiled. You don't have to be embarrassed. I am not embarrassed. You are. I'm not. You're blushing. I am not. He laughed. Sooya glared at him. She should have been annoyed. She really should have. But somehow she found herself smiling too. They continued walking toward the cafeteria. Sooya glanced at him. I'll tell him after lunch. That was the plan now. Again. She didn't realize that every time she postponed telling him, she was making the truth harder to say. The rest of the day passed in exactly the same way. Every time Sooya tried to tell Ren the truth, something happened. At lunch, he was busy making sure she actually ate. After class, he walked her to the library because she had mentioned needing a book. When she finally found a quiet moment, he asked if she wanted ice cream. And somehow, every time she looked at him, the words she had been carrying all day became harder to say. By evening, Sooya had completely given up. Ren walked her home. When they reached her gate, he handed her bag back. See you tomorrow, girlfriend. Sooya looked at him. Ren. Him. She almost said it. I didn't mean to ask you out. But she couldn't. Nothing. He smiled. Good night, Sooya. Good night. She watched him walk away. Then she sighed. Tomorrow. She whispered it to herself. Definitely tomorrow. The next morning, Sooya entered college with the same determination. Today she would tell him. No matter what. She walked through the main gate. And immediately noticed something strange. People were looking at her. Not just glancing. Looking. A few students whispered to each other. Someone smiled at her. Two girls passing by giggled. Sooya frowned. What is going on? She continued walking. Then someone called out. Sooya. She turned. A girl from her class waved at her. Congratulations. Sooya blinked. For what? The girl looked confused. For you and Ren. Sooya's eyes widened. What? Before she could ask anything else, another student walked past. Cute couple. Sooya stood completely still. Couple? She hurried toward her classroom. More people greeted her on the way. Sooya. Morning. Where's Ren? You two are seriously adorable. Her confusion only grew. By the time she reached her classroom, she was almost panicking. Mia was already there. Sooya rushed over. Mia. Mia looked up. Morning. How does everyone know? Know what? That Ren and I are dating. Mia stared at her. Then slowly smiled. So you finally admitted it. I didn't admit anything. Mia's smile disappeared. What? I mean, I didn't tell anyone. Neither did I. Then why does the entire college think we're dating? Mia looked at her for a moment. Then glanced toward the doorway. Maybe because Ren has been acting like your boyfriend since yesterday. Sooya groaned. That doesn't explain how everyone knows. Mia opened her mouth. Before she could answer, a voice came from behind them. Because I told them. Sooya froze. She slowly turned around. Ren stood at the classroom door. And just like yesterday, he smiled when he saw her. Hello, girlfriend. Sooya stared at Ren. You told them. Ren looked at her, completely unfazed by her sudden outburst. I didn't tell them intentionally. Then how does the entire college know we're dating? Ren shrugged. My friends were talking about it. So, I don't know. We were talking and it just came out. Sooya narrowed her eyes. What exactly came out? Ren thought for a second. I might have said that you're my girlfriend. Sooya's mouth fell open. Might have. He smiled. Okay. I said it. Ren. What? Why would you just tell people? I didn't think it was a big deal. It's a huge deal. Why? Because now everyone thinks we're dating. Ren looked at her as if she had just said something obvious. We are dating. Sooya stared at him. That is not the point. Then what's the point? The point is... She stopped. She couldn't exactly tell him the truth. Not here. Not with everyone around them. Ren tilted his head. The point is... Sooya crossed her arms. The point is you should have asked me before telling everyone. Ren smiled. Okay. That calm okay somehow made her even more annoyed. Don't just say okay. Okay. Ren. He laughed. You're cute when you're angry. Sooya's expression immediately changed. I am not cute. You are. No, I'm not. You are. Stop saying that. Okay, girlfriend. Sooya glared at him. He only smiled wider. From a few steps away, Mia watched the entire exchange. She slowly turned to the other students nearby. Yeah, they're definitely dating. Sooya heard her. M.A. Mia immediately started laughing and ran away. Sooya sighed. She had come to college determined to finally fix this mess. Instead, somehow, the entire college had officially accepted her as Ren's girlfriend. And Ren? He seemed perfectly happy about it. Sooya spent the rest of the morning trying to avoid Ren. Not because she was angry with him. At least, that was what she kept telling herself. She simply needed some time to figure out how she was supposed to fix everything. Unfortunately, avoiding Ren turned out to be impossible. The moment she entered the cafeteria, she heard his voice. Sooya. She stopped. Ren was sitting at a table with a few of his friends. He looked at the empty seat beside him and pointed toward it. Come here. Sooya looked around. Me. He raised an eyebrow. Who else? She reluctantly walked over. One of his friends immediately smiled. Your girlfriend finally came. Sooya's face warmed. Ren simply moved his bag from the chair beside him. Sit. Sooya sat down. A few seconds later, Ren pushed a plate toward her. I got you lunch. She looked at it. You already ordered. You usually don't know what you want until everyone else has finished eating. She stared at him. How do you know that? Ren shrugged. I pay attention. His friend across the table laughed. Bro, you're already acting like you've been married for 10 years. Ren didn't even look embarrassed. What's wrong with that? Sooya nearly choked. Nothing. Everyone laughed. Sooya lowered her head, pretending to be interested in her food. Mia sat down beside her a moment later. She leaned closer. You're blushing. I am not. You are. I hate you. No, you don't. Sooya sighed. She glanced at Ren. He was talking to his friends, completely comfortable. For some reason, seeing him like that made her chest feel warm. She quickly looked away. This is getting dangerous. Because the problem wasn't just that Ren thought they were dating. The problem was, she was starting to like being his girlfriend, and that made telling him the truth much harder. By the end of the day, Sooya had made a decision. She was going to tell Ren tomorrow, not because she wanted to, because she had to. She couldn't keep letting him believe something that wasn't true. At least, not originally. As she packed her things, Mia came over. So? Sooya looked up. So what? Did you tell him? Sooya gave her a tired look. You know I didn't. Mia sighed. Then when? Tomorrow. You've been saying that for 3 days. I know. And Sooya hesitated. And I mean it this time. I know. And Sooya hesitated. And I mean it this time. Mia studied her face. You like him? Sooya immediately looked away. No. Mia smiled. That wasn't very convincing. I don't like him. Then why are you smiling? Sooya touched her face. I am not smiling. You are. Before Sooya could argue, a familiar voice came from behind her. Ready? She turned. Ren was standing there waiting. Ready for what? To go home. Sooya blinked. I can go by myself. I know. Then why are you waiting? Because I want to walk you home. She didn't know what to say to that. Mia quietly picked up her bag. I'll leave you two alone. Sooya immediately turned toward her. Mia. But Mia was already walking away with a grin. Ren held out his hand towards Sooya's bag. I'll take it. You don't have to. I know. He took it anyway. They walked out of the college together. For a while, neither of them said anything. Then Ren spoke. You were quiet today. Sooya looked at him. Was I? Yeah. Just tired. He nodded. After a few steps, he asked, Did I do something? Sooya stopped. No. Are you sure? She looked at him. For a moment, she almost told him, Ren, I need to tell you something. But then he smiled at her, and the words disappeared again. I'm sure. He nodded. Okay. They continued walking. When they reached her house, Ren handed her bag back. Good night, girlfriend. Sooya smiled despite herself. Good night. He started walking away. She watched him for a few seconds, then quietly whispered to herself, Tomorrow. This time she really meant it. Or at least, she hoped she did. The next morning, Sooya was halfway through tying her shoelaces when she heard the doorbell. She frowned. It was still early. Who could that be? Her mother called from the living room. Sooya. Someone's here for you. Sooya froze. Someone? She quickly finished tying her shoes and walked toward the door. The moment she opened it, her eyes widened. Ren stood outside. He was holding 2 cups of coffee. Good morning. Sooya stared at him. What are you doing here? I came to pick you up. Pick me up. He held out one of the cups. You always skip breakfast. She stared at the coffee. Then at him. You remembered. Of course. Before she could respond, her mother appeared behind her. Oh. Sooya immediately turned around. Mom. Her mother looked at Ren. Then at Sooya. Then back at Ren. And suddenly her entire expression changed. Oh. Sooya already knew that sound. Mom, don't. Her mother smiled brightly. You didn't tell me you had a boyfriend. Sooya's eyes widened. His not. Ren politely bowed his head. Good morning. Her mother's smile somehow became even bigger. Oh, you're so polite. Sooya stared at her mother in disbelief. Mom. Her mother ignored her completely. You came to pick her up. Yes, How sweet. Sooya covered her face. Please stop. Her mother looked at Ren again. Sooya never tells me anything. Mom. Ren gave a small laugh. I've noticed. Her mother laughed too. Within seconds, they were talking like they'd known each other for years. Sooya stood there helplessly. Her mother even invited him inside. Come in for a minute. You can have breakfast with us. Sooya nearly screamed. Mom, we're going to be late. Her mother looked at her. Don't rush him away. I want to know how long you've been dating. Sooya froze. Ren looked at her. She looked at him. There was a tiny pause. Then Ren calmly said, It's still pretty new. Her mother smiled. I knew it. Sooya wanted the floor to swallow her. Her mother turned to her. And you didn't tell me. I was going to. When? Sooya opened her mouth. Nothing. Her mother shook her head. You've been keeping a boyfriend from me this whole time. Mom, it's not like that. Then what is it like? Sooya glanced at Ren. He was standing there completely calm, holding her coffee. Her mother followed her gaze. Then smiled knowingly. Look at you. Sooya frowned. What? You're already blushing. I'm not. Her mother laughed. Come on. Go before you're late. Then she looked at Ren. Take care of her. Ren nodded. I will. Sooya stared at both of them. This is unbelievable. She quickly grabbed her bag. Let's go. As they walked away from the house, Sooya glanced back. Her mother was still standing at the door. And she was smiling. Sooya sighed. This is getting worse. Ren looked at her. What is? My mom. He smiled. She likes me. That is exactly the problem. Why? Because now I can't even explain anything. Ren looked genuinely confused. Explain what? Sooya stopped. There it was again. The opening. She could tell him. She could finally say everything. But then she thought about her mother smiling at them. About his friends. About everyone at college. And now, his family probably knew too. Technically, everyone already believed they were together. And the worst part? Sooya realized she was no longer sure she wanted to correct them. She looked at Ren. He smiled at her. Come on, girlfriend. Sooya sighed and followed him. I'll tell him later. Again. After that morning, something slowly changed. Sooya had always been used to taking care of herself. She carried her own things, remembered her own schedule, bought her own meals when she was hungry, and dealt with small problems without expecting anyone to notice. She had never had a boyfriend before. So maybe that was why Ren's little gestures felt so strange. At first, she didn't even realize he was doing it. When they reached college, he took her bag without asking. When she forgot to bring an umbrella, he simply opened his and moved closer so she wouldn't get wet. When she was tired after class, he noticed before she said anything and slowed his steps. When she complained that she was hungry, food somehow appeared in front of her. He never made a big deal out of any of it. He just did things. Quietly. Naturally. Like it was the most normal thing in the world. One afternoon, Sooya was sitting in the library, rubbing her eyes after staring at her notes for too long. A few minutes later, something was placed beside her notebook. Her favorite drink. She looked up. Ren was already sitting across from her, opening his book. She looked at the drink. Then at him. You bought this for me. He didn't look up. You looked tired. That was all. Sooya smiled. Thank you. He nodded and went back to reading. Somehow, they had started communicating without needing to say much. A glance was enough to ask, "Are you okay?" A small nod meant "I'm fine." When she was cold, he would silently move his jacket toward her. When he was tired, she'd push his drink closer without saying anything. When they walked together, their steps naturally matched. Little things. tiny habits, things neither of them had ever discussed. They simply became theirs. And Sooya began to forget that none of this was supposed to happen. One evening, they were walking home. Ren noticed she was quieter than usual. He looked at her. She looked back. "I'm fine." He raised an eyebrow. She smiled. "Really?" He nodded. Then, without saying anything, he reached over and took her bag. Sooya let him. She didn't even argue anymore. She just walked beside him. For the first time, she realized something. She had spent so much time worrying about how to tell Ren that their relationship had started by accident. That somewhere along the way, she had stopped thinking of him as an accident. Ren wasn't a mistake anymore. He was simply Ren. The person who waited for her. The person who remembered her favorite drink. The person who noticed when she was tired. The person she had gotten used to having beside her. And somewhere between all those quiet gestures and ordinary days, Sooya completely forgot that she was supposed to tell him the truth. By then, Sooya had decided that today would finally be the day. She had been carrying the truth for too long. Today, she would tell Ren. She found him in the college courtyard, talking with a few of his friends. She was already rehearsing the words in her head as she walked toward him. "Ren, there's something I need to tell you." She was almost there when someone called her name. "Sooya." She turned. It was a boy from her class. He walked over with a smile. "Hey, are you free after class?" Sooya smiled politely. "I think so." "Why?" "I wanted to ask you about the assignment. Maybe we could." She didn't notice Ren's expression immediately. But then she did. He had stopped talking. His eyes were on them. He wasn't glaring. He wasn't saying anything. He simply stood there watching. The boy continued talking, but Sooya found herself looking at Ren instead. When the boy finally left, Ren walked over. "You're going somewhere after class." His voice sounded normal. Almost. "Maybe." He wanted to ask me about the assignment. Ren nodded. "Oh." That was all. But Sooya noticed the way his expression had changed. The way he had suddenly become quieter. The way his eyes had followed the boy until he walked away. The way he had casually asked where she was going without actually asking her not to go. She understood. He was jealous. And for some reason, that realization made something warm flutter inside her. She had never seen Ren like this before. He was usually so composed. But apparently, when it came to her, he wasn't always. Sooya looked at him for a moment longer. "You're quiet." "Am I?" She nodded. "Yeah." He looked away. "I'm fine." She almost smiled. She knew he wasn't. And strangely, she liked knowing that. Not because she wanted him to be jealous, but because it made her realize just how much she mattered to him. She had come looking for him that morning with a secret she had promised herself she would finally confess. But standing there, watching him quietly struggle with a feeling he wasn't even willing to admit, the thought disappeared. Ren reached for her bag. "Come on." "Where?" "Class." She handed it to him without thinking. As they walked together, Sooya glanced at him. A tiny smile appeared on her lips. "I'll tell him tomorrow." And for the first time, she wasn't even sure whether she was postponing the truth because she was afraid, or because she wasn't ready to give up this little secret between them. As the days passed, Sooya began noticing something else about Ren. He never tried to hide the way he felt about her. Not even a little. If he wanted to sit beside her, he simply did. If he wanted to hold her hand, he reached for it. If someone asked why he was waiting outside her classroom, he never made up an excuse. "Because I'm her boyfriend." Simple. Direct. Almost shameless. At first, Sooya had found it embarrassing. But slowly she began to find it charming. One afternoon, they were walking through the hallway when one of Ren's friends called out. Ren, you're coming with us. Ren shook his head. No. I'm going with Sooya. Since when do you choose her over us? Since I started liking her. He said it so casually that Sooya nearly missed a step. She looked at him. Ren simply continued walking. Did you just say that in front of everyone? Yeah. You're not embarrassed. Why would I be? He looked at her. I like you. Her heart fluttered. There was no hesitation in him. No pretending that he didn't care. No acting distant just to look cool. If he was happy to be with her, he showed it. If he missed her, he said it. If he wanted her attention, he asked for it. And if someone teased him about being jealous, Ren didn't even bother denying it. Of course I'm jealous. Sooya would look at him in surprise. And he would simply add, I'm your boyfriend. Why wouldn't I be? Every time he said it, something inside her softened. She had never been used to someone being so open about liking her. Ren didn't make her guess. He didn't make her wonder. He simply told her. And somehow those simple words stayed with her long after he had said them. I'm your boyfriend. I like you. I'm jealous. 3 simple things. But every time she heard them, her heart fluttered a little more. And the secret she had once been so desperate to confess slowly became something she barely thought about anymore. Because somewhere along the way, she had stopped wondering how their relationship had started. She had started wondering how she had ever imagined her life without him. The day Sooya got her marks back was not a good day. She stared at the paper in her hands for what felt like forever. They weren't terrible, but they weren't what she had hoped for either. She quietly folded the paper and put it inside her notebook. Ren noticed. He always noticed. What happened? Nothing. He looked at her. Sooya. She sighed and pulled the paper back out. My marks. Ren took it from her and looked at it. Oh. She looked away. I studied so much. I know. I really thought I would do better. Ren sat beside her. You still did well. No, I didn't. You did. I could have done better. He was quiet for a moment. Usually, Ren was calm, collected, the kind of person who always seemed to know what to say. But this time, he simply looked at her. Then, suddenly, he put the paper down. Okay. Sooya looked at him. What? We're fixing this. How? Ren stood up. First, you're not allowed to be sad for the next 10 minutes. She almost laughed. That's not how emotions work. I know. He crossed his arms. I'm your boyfriend. I'm allowed to make ridiculous rules. Sooya smiled faintly. That's a terrible rule. Fine. New rule. He thought seriously for a moment. Your marks are banned from this table. She laughed despite herself. Ren. I'm serious. He picked up the paper, folded it carefully, and put it inside her bag. Gone. So dramatic. Thank you. She shook her head. Ren suddenly made a ridiculous face. Sooya stared at him. What are you doing? Trying to make you laugh. You look stupid. Good. He made another exaggerated expression. Then another. Sooya tried to hold back her smile. You're embarrassing yourself. I have no dignity when my girlfriend is sad. That made her laugh. Finally, Ren immediately smiled. There? What? You laughed. So, my job is done. She looked at him. You really don't have to do all this. I know. He sat back down beside her. I just want you to feel better. Sooya went quiet. She looked at him for a moment. The boy who was usually so composed had completely dropped that side of himself just to make her smile. He didn't care if he looked silly. He didn't care if his friends saw him. He only cared that she was hurting. And somehow that meant more to her than any perfect words could have. She leaned her head against his shoulder. "Thank you." Ren smiled. "Anytime." After a moment, he added, "And next time you get marks you're unhappy with, I'm personally fighting the question paper." Sooya laughed again. "You're ridiculous. Only for you." And somehow her disappointing marks didn't feel quite as heavy anymore. The next morning, Sooya didn't come to college. She had been feeling unwell since the previous night, but she didn't think it was anything serious. She had simply decided to stay home and rest. She didn't tell Ren. She didn't even message him. She thought she would feel better by the next day and didn't want him to worry over something so small. But Ren noticed her absence the moment he arrived. He checked his phone. Nothing. He waited through the first class. Nothing. By lunch, he finally asked Mia, "Where's Sooya?" Mia looked at him. "She isn't feeling well. She stayed home." Ren's expression changed. "She isn't feeling well." Mia nodded. "Yeah. And she didn't tell me." Mia hesitated. "She probably didn't want you to worry." Ren didn't say anything. He just looked down at his phone again. There wasn't a message. Not even a simple "I'm staying home today." He wasn't angry. Not really. He was hurt. He had spent the whole morning wondering where she was. Wondering if something had happened. Wondering why she hadn't told him. And all the while she had been at home feeling unwell. By the time classes ended, Ren had made up his mind. He went to her house. When Sooya opened the door and saw him standing there, she froze. "Ren." He looked at her carefully. Her face was still a little pale. "Are you okay?" Sooya nodded. "Yeah, I'm fine." He didn't answer immediately. He simply looked at her. Then quietly asked, "Are you sure?" She nodded again. "I'm okay." Ren's eyes softened. "Good." There was something about his voice that made Sooya realize he wasn't actually okay. She opened the door a little wider. "Do you want to come in?" He shook his head. "No." He paused. "I just wanted to see if you were okay." Sooya looked at him. "Ren, I..." He shook his head gently. "You don't have to explain." His voice wasn't cold. That somehow made it worse. "I'll see you tomorrow." And before she could say anything else, he turned around and left. Sooya stood at the doorway, watching him walk away. For the first time, she understood that Ren hadn't come because he wanted an explanation. He had come because he had been worried. And what hurt him wasn't that she had stayed home. It was that she hadn't thought to tell him. The next morning, Sooya knew immediately. Ren was mad at her. He didn't say it. He didn't have to. Usually, the moment he saw her, he'd come over. Sometimes he'd take her bag. Sometimes he'd say, "Hello, girlfriend." Sometimes he'd simply smile at her. Today? Nothing. He walked past her. Sooya watched him go. Oh. She followed him into the classroom. Nothing. During the break, he sat with his friends. Nothing. She walked past him twice. Still nothing. By lunch, Sooya was sure. He was ignoring her. And honestly, she deserved it. She had known he would be worried. She just hadn't expected him to be this upset. She finally walked over to him. "Ren." He continued looking at his phone. "Him." Sooya stood beside him. "Are you busy?" "Yes." He didn't even look up. She frowned. "Really?" "Yeah." She leaned closer. "What are you doing?" "Nothing." "Then how are you busy?" He finally glanced at her. "I'm talking to someone." "Oh." She stood there for a moment. Then quietly moved closer. "Ren." No response. She leaned down slightly so she could see his face. "Ren." Still nothing. She made a tiny pout. He looked away. Sooya tried again. Are you still angry? I'm not angry. You are. No. You haven't talked to me all day. You didn't talk to me yesterday. That one hurt. Sooya lowered her eyes. I know. Ren put his phone down. I was worried about you. I know. I spent the entire morning wondering what happened. I know. And you couldn't even send me one message. Sooya looked at him. I'm sorry. He looked away again. She stood there quietly for a moment. Then an idea came to her. If talking didn't work, maybe she could make him laugh. Sooya moved closer and gently tugged at his sleeve. Ren. Nothing. She tugged again. Ren. Still nothing. She gave him her most innocent expression. Look at me. He tried very hard not to smile. Sooya noticed. She moved directly into his line of sight. Please. His lips twitched. She smiled. There? He immediately looked away again. Sooya followed him. You almost smiled. I didn't. You did. No. She leaned closer. Just smile once. Why? Because you're my. She stopped. Then, without even thinking about it, she said in the softest voice, Don't be mad, boyfriend. Ren froze. Sooya froze too. There was a second of silence. Then he laughed. A real laugh. The first one she'd gotten from him all day. Sooya immediately smiled. There. Ren shook his head, still laughing. You're unbelievable. So you're not mad anymore. He looked at her. I didn't say that. Sooya's smile disappeared. Ren. He laughed again. Then finally reached out and took her hand. I'm still upset. She nodded. Okay. But. He squeezed her hand. I missed you. Sooya's expression softened. I missed you too. He looked at her for a moment. Then sighed. Next time you're not feeling well, tell me. I will. Promise? Promise? He nodded. Good. Sooya smiled. Then quietly added, Hello, boyfriend. Ren laughed again. Now you're just doing it on purpose. Maybe. And just like that, the argument was over. On the way home, Sooya suddenly stopped walking. She stared ahead. Something about the conversation with Ren kept replaying in her mind. Don't be mad, boyfriend. Her eyes widened. Wait. She had actually called him boyfriend. Not because she was pretending. Not because she was trying to convince anyone. She had said it naturally. Without thinking. And then there was the way she had tried everything to make him smile. The silly faces. The little tug on his sleeve. The soft voice. The way she had desperately wanted him to forgive her. She hadn't been thinking about the misunderstanding at all. She had only been thinking about one thing. Ren was hurt and she wanted him to be okay with her again. Sooya slowly started walking again. She thought about the previous day. She had been wrong not to tell him she was sick. She knew that. And when she saw how worried he'd been, she'd understood why he was hurt. She wanted him to forgive her. She wanted things between them to be normal again. She wanted her boyfriend to smile at her again. My boyfriend. She repeated the words silently. Then she stopped again. Her heart gave a strange little flutter. Did I? She couldn't finish the thought. Had she really started thinking of Ren as her boyfriend? Not because of that ridiculous accident. Not because everyone else believed they were dating. But because somewhere along the way she had accepted him as hers. Sooya smiled to herself. Then another thought suddenly appeared. The original reason she'd been so determined to talk to him. The truth she'd promised herself she would tell him. She was supposed to tell Ren that their relationship had started because of a misunderstanding. She was supposed to tell him that she'd never actually intended to ask him out. She was supposed to tell him that she'd meant to say, "My friend likes you." She stood there silently, then sighed. Tomorrow. She had forgotten again. Or maybe she simply hadn't wanted to remember, because every day that passed with Ren felt less and less like a mistake, and more like the life she had chosen. The next morning, Sooya walked into college feeling strangely lighter. Things with Ren were normal again. At least she thought they were. She was walking toward her classroom when she spotted him near the courtyard. Ren was talking to a girl from his class. Sooya slowed down. The girl was holding a notebook and Ren was pointing at something on the page. They were talking about their classwork. Then the girl laughed. Ren smiled. Sooya stopped. She didn't know why she stopped. She just did. What's so funny? She watched them for another few seconds. The girl said something. Ren nodded. Then she showed him something on her phone. Sooya's eyes narrowed. Oh. She crossed her arms. Very interesting. She walked past them. Slowly. Very slowly. Ren noticed her immediately. His eyes followed her. Sooya didn't look at him. She walked a few more steps, then turned around. Ren was still looking at her. She raised her eyebrows. He raised his. She immediately looked away. A few seconds later, Ren finished talking to the girl and walked toward her. Sooya. Him. You're early today. Am I? Yeah. Interesting. Ren looked at her. What's interesting? Nothing. She smiled sweetly. Far too sweetly. You looked busy. I was. With her. Ren glanced back at the girl. She needed help with the assignment. Oh. Sooya nodded. Of course. Ren studied her face. There it was. That tiny frown. The slightly narrowed eyes. The way she was answering every question like she was conducting an investigation. He almost smiled. She's jealous. But he wisely decided not to say it. Sooya was already looking like she was one question away from interrogating him. He wasn't going to make that worse. Instead, he simply said, "Are you okay?" Perfectly fine. Okay. Very fine. Ren nodded seriously. Good. Sooya looked at him suspiciously. What? Nothing. Then why are you smiling? I'm not. You are. He quickly looked away. Sooya narrowed her eyes again. Ren knew better than to tease her. Not today. She looked like she was already in a bad mood, and he had absolutely no intention of ending up on the wrong side of it. So he quietly reached for her bag. Come on. She let him take it. Neither of them mentioned the girl again. But as they walked toward class, Ren couldn't help the tiny smile that appeared on his face. He had never thought jealousy could be this cute. And Sooya? She was still silently wondering why Ren had smiled at that girl so much. During lunch, Sooya dragged Ren to the college garden. Ren sat down on the bench beside her. Sooya crossed her arms. Ren looked at her. What? So? She turned toward him. The girl from this morning. Ren already knew where this was going. What about her? What were you talking about? Class. Which class? History. For how long? Ren thought for a second. Maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Yes. So you were talking to her for 10 minutes. Ren nodded. Sooya narrowed her eyes. And she was laughing. Ren tried not to smile. She laughed once. Twice. Okay. Twice. And you smiled. I smile. Not like that. Ren finally looked amused. What does that mean? I don't know. She frowned. But you looked very comfortable. We were talking about the game and our assignment. Just that. Just that. Sooya stared at him. Ren waited. She wasn't done. What did she want? Help with the classwork. And you helped her? Yes. Why? Ren blinked. Because she asked. Sooya opened her mouth, closed it, then tried again. You could have told her to ask someone else. Why would I? Because. She paused. She didn't have an answer. Ren leaned back against the bench, watching her struggle. Sooya. What? Are you interrogating me? No. You've asked me 11 questions. So? He smiled. You're jealous. Sooya immediately looked offended. I am not jealous. You are. No. Okay. He nodded solemnly. You're not jealous. She stared at him. Don't say it like that. Like what? Like you don't believe me. I believe you. You don't. I do. So stop smiling. He tried. He really did. But the corner of his mouth lifted again. Sooya stared at him. You're enjoying this? A little. She lightly hit his arm. Ren. He laughed. Okay. Then his expression softened. You don't have to worry. Sooya looked at him. About what? Her. He said it simply. I wasn't interested in her. Sooya's expression relaxed before she could stop it. Ren noticed. He didn't tease her this time. Instead, he reached for her hand and gently intertwined their fingers. I already have the person I like. Sooya looked down at their hands. Her heart fluttered. And suddenly, all her questions seemed much less important. Still, after a moment, she quietly muttered, I still don't like her. Ren smiled. I know. You shouldn't smile at her so much. Okay. And don't spend 10 minutes helping her next time. Okay. Anne. Ren laughed. So many rules. Sooya gave him a warning look. I'm serious. I know. He squeezed her hand. Whatever makes my girlfriend happy. Sooya tried very hard not to smile. She failed. The next day wasn't any better. Sooya had an argument with one of her friends. It started over something small. At least that's what Sooya thought. But somehow the conversation became bigger and bigger until her friends started blaming her for everything. You always do this, Sooya. I didn't even. You never listen. That isn't true. And then you act like you're the one who's hurt. Sooya went quiet. She tried to explain herself. She really did. But every time she spoke, another accusation came. By the time the argument ended, Sooya felt exhausted. She walked away with tears already gathering in her eyes. Mia found her sitting in a quiet corner of the garden. Sooya. Sooya quickly wiped her face. I'm fine. Mia sat beside her. You're crying. No, I'm not. You literally are. Sooya sniffed. She said so many things. Mia sighed and put an arm around her. Don't take everything she said to heart. But what if she's right? She isn't. But what if? Sooya. Mia gently wiped one of her tears. You don't have to figure everything out right now. Sooya nodded, but the tears kept coming. A few minutes later, footsteps approached. Mia looked up. Ren. He stopped when he saw Sooya crying. His expression immediately changed. Mia looked at him. Then at Sooya. She quietly stood up. I'll leave you too. Sooya barely noticed her leaving. Ren sat down beside her. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't immediately tell her not to cry. He simply sat there. Sooya looked at him. And something about seeing him made the tears come even harder. It was so stupid. Ren stayed quiet. She started blaming me for everything. He listened. I tried to explain, but she wouldn't even listen to me. He didn't interrupt. And then she said I always make everything about myself. Her voice cracked. I don't. Ren still said nothing. Sooya sniffed. Do I? He quietly shook his head. She looked at him. No. No. That was all. And somehow that tiny answer made her feel better. She continued talking. She told him everything. Every little detail. Even the parts that didn't matter. She complained. She cried. She got annoyed all over again while explaining it. And Ren simply listened. He never once told her she was being dramatic. Never told her to calm down. Never tried to force her to stop crying. He just stayed. Eventually, he reached into his pocket and held out his handkerchief. Sooya looked at it. For me. He nodded. She took it. Thank you. She wiped her eyes with it. Then her nose. Then her eyes again. Ren watched silently. After a while, Sooya gave a tiny embarrassed laugh. I probably ruined your handkerchief. It's fine. She looked down. I cried so much. I know. I must look horrible. You don't. She looked at him. Ren's expression was completely sincere. Sooya's eyes filled again. Oh, don't say nice things now. Why? Because I'll cry again. He smiled softly. Then he opened his arms. It was such a simple gesture. No words. No explanation. Just an invitation. Sooya stared at him for a second. Then, without thinking, she moved closer. Ren wrapped his arms around her. And for the first time, they hugged. Sooya's hands slowly came around him too. She rested her head against his chest. For a moment, neither of them said anything. She could hear his heartbeat, feel the warmth of his arms around her. And somehow, after everything that had happened that day, she finally felt safe enough to stop crying. Ren gently held her a little tighter. You okay? Sooya nodded against him. Now I am. Neither of them noticed how natural it felt. Neither of them knew that this was the first time they had held each other like this. But somewhere inside, Sooya realized something. She didn't want to let go yet. That night, Sooya lay in bed staring at the ceiling. She couldn't stop thinking about the hug. Their first hug. And somehow, the fact that it had been with Ren made it feel even more important. She closed her eyes. She could still remember how safe she'd felt in his arms. How, when she was upset, she hadn't wanted advice. She had just needed him. And he had been there. Quietly. Without asking her to explain anything. Without trying to fix everything. He had simply stayed. Sooya smiled faintly. When did we get this close? It hadn't happened all at once. It was the little things. The way he waited for her. The way he remembered things she casually mentioned. The way he noticed when something was wrong. The way she had started looking for him whenever something happened. Happy or sad. Good day or bad day. Somehow she had started needing him. Her boyfriend. The thought suddenly made her pause. My boyfriend. She repeated it silently. It didn't sound strange anymore. It didn't feel like a lie anymore. And that scared her a little. Because once, she had been desperate to tell Ren that their relationship had started by accident. Now, she wasn't even sure what she was trying to correct. She turned onto her side and pulled the blanket closer. I still have to tell him. She knew that. She couldn't keep a secret from him forever. But when? She didn't know. Tomorrow? Next week? Someday? She sighed. Maybe she just needed more time. Maybe she could tell him when the right moment came. And after everything, maybe they could still be friends. Good friends. She smiled sadly at the thought. We can be good friends, right? She paused, then quietly corrected herself. Right? Because deep down, Sooya already knew the answer. She just wasn't ready to say it out loud yet. It was Sooya's birthday. She woke up to her parents wishing her before she had even properly opened her eyes. Happy birthday. Her mother hugged her tightly while her father handed her a gift. Sooya smiled. Thank you. Breakfast was full of little celebrations. Her parents made her favorite food, gave her gifts, and kept reminding her that she was getting older. Later, her friends wished her too. Mia showed up with a small present and immediately pulled her into a hug. Happy birthday. Sooya laughed. Thank you. It was a good day. A really good day. Everything seemed perfect. Except, someone was missing. Sooya looked around the college courtyard. Once. Twice. Then again. No Ren. She checked her phone. Nothing. Maybe he's inside. She walked toward her classroom. No Ren. She checked the hallway. Still nothing. Her mood slowly began to change. Where is he? It was her birthday. Her birthday. He should have been the most excited person there. Wasn't he her boyfriend? Shouldn't he have shown up first? Shouldn't he have been waiting for her with some ridiculous smile and his stupid, "Hello, girlfriend"? She frowned. Nothing. Not even a message. Sooya sat down beside Mia, looking increasingly irritated. Mia glanced at her. What happened? Nothing. You look angry. I'm not angry. You're definitely angry. Sooya crossed her arms. Where is Ren? Mia hesitated. I don't know. Exactly. She looked at her phone again. Still nothing. So he really forgot. Maybe he's busy. Busy with what? Mia shrugged. Sooya scoffed. What does he have to do that's more important than being my boyfriend? Mia tried not to laugh. Sooya. No. She folded her arms tighter. He remembers everything. My favorite drink, my classes, when I'm tired, when I'm hungry. She paused. Then he forgets my birthday. She huffed. Seriously? Mia smiled. You're really upset. I'm not. You are. Sooya looked away. I'm just saying. She muttered under her breath. It's my birthday. He should at least remember. Then she looked at her phone one more time. Nothing. Sooya turned her face away dramatically. HMPH. She had decided. If Ren eventually showed up, she was not going to make it easy for him. By the time college ended, Sooya's excitement had completely disappeared. She walked out through the gate slowly, her bag hanging from one shoulder. She had checked her phone countless times. Nothing. She had even called Ren. Once. Twice. 3 times. He hadn't picked up. Was he okay? That thought made her worry for a moment. But then another thought followed. Still, he could have at least remembered. She sighed. Maybe he really had forgotten. Her birthday. The one day she had secretly expected him to be the most excited about. She reached the road leading toward her home and was about to turn when suddenly, a bike stopped right in front of her. Sooya jumped back. What the? The rider quickly removed his helmet. And there he was. Ren. That familiar charming smile appeared on his face. Happy birthday, girlfriend. Sooya froze. Her mouth fell open. You. She stared at him, then narrowed her eyes. Oh, now you remember my birthday, Mr. So-called boyfriend. Ren smiled. So-called? Yes. She walked closer. Where were you? He simply gave her that annoyingly charming smile. The one that always made it difficult for her to stay angry. Sooya tried very hard not to melt. What? Ren tilted his head. I wanted to see something. What? Whether my charming girlfriend would actually miss her charming boyfriend on her birthday. Sooya stared at him, then scoffed. Don't be so full of yourself. Ren smiled wider. You missed me. I did not. Sure. I did. She immediately realized what she'd said. Ren's smile became even more smug. So you did miss me. Sooya looked away. Maybe. Don't make that face. What face? That annoying one. He laughed, then tapped the seat behind him. Come on. Where? I have a surprise for you. Sooya looked at the bike, then at him. A surprise. He nodded. For my girlfriend. She tried to hide her smile. Fine. She climbed onto the bike. Ren put his helmet back on. Before starting the engine, he looked back at her. Ready? Sooya smiled. Where are you taking me? You'll see. And with that, the bike pulled away. Sooya held onto him as they disappeared down the road, completely forgetting that only a few hours ago she'd been convinced he'd forgotten her birthday. Because apparently, Ren had never forgotten anything. The bike ride didn't last very long. Ren turned onto a quieter road, and Sooya noticed the familiar streets slowly disappearing behind them. She looked around. Where are we going? You'll see. That answer is becoming very annoying. Good. She lightly hit his shoulder. Ren! He laughed. A few minutes later, the bike finally stopped. Sooya stepped off and looked ahead. She froze. In front of her was a beautiful garden restaurant, completely quiet and glowing under warm fairy lights. There were flowers everywhere, little lights hanging between the trees, and a few candles placed along the pathway. But what caught her attention most was the fact that there was no one else there. The entire place had been booked. Just for them. Sooya slowly looked around. Ren. He took off his helmet and smiled. Come on. She followed him inside. As they walked through the garden, she noticed every little detail. The table in the middle of the garden was beautifully decorated with flowers and candles. There were small lights above them. A few photographs of them were placed around the table. And in the center was a beautifully decorated birthday cake with her name on it. Sooya stopped. Her eyes widened. You booked the whole place. Ren nodded. For tonight. She looked around again, almost unable to believe it. All of this just for me. He smiled. Who else would I do it for? She looked at him. You're ridiculous. That's not a thank you. She laughed. Thank you. He pulled out the chair for her. Your birthday deserves its own place. Sooya sat down, still looking around. She touched one of the little flowers on the table. I love this. I know. She looked up. How? Because you like quiet places. Her expression softened. He remembered. Not just her birthday. Her little preferences too. She looked at the cake. You even got my favorite. Of course. She smiled. You really planned everything. Ren sat across from her. I wanted you to have a birthday you'd remember. Sooya looked at him for a long moment. You're really good at this boyfriend thing. He smiled. I know. She rolled her eyes. There you go again. What? Being full of yourself. He leaned back comfortably. Can't help it. She laughed. Ren reached for the cake knife. Come on. Make a wish. Sooya closed her eyes. For a moment, she didn't wish for anything complicated. She already had everything she wanted sitting right across from her. When she opened her eyes, Ren was watching her. What did you wish for? If I tell you, it won't come true. Fair enough. He cut the cake and placed a piece in front of her. Sooya took a bite. Her eyes widened. This is so good. I know. She laughed. Why do you always say that? Because I know you. And somehow that simple sentence made her heart flutter more than all the decorations around them. After dinner, Ren took Sooya farther into the garden. The restaurant had a small open area at the back, away from the tables and lights. The sky above them was clear. Stars filled the darkness. Sooya looked up, completely mesmerized. Wow. Ren smiled. You like it? She nodded. I love it. They sat together on a small blanket beneath the trees. For a while, neither of them spoke. There was only the quiet sound of the night. Then Ren reached for the guitar he'd brought with him. Sooya looked at him in surprise. You play? A little. He started playing. The melody was soft, almost blending into the quiet around them. Sooya didn't say anything. She simply watched him. The lights from the garden fell softly across his face while he played, and for once Ren wasn't joking or teasing her. He just played. When the song ended, the garden became completely quiet again. Sooya looked at him. That was beautiful. Ren placed the guitar beside him. I'm glad you liked it. She smiled. Then he slowly reached for her hand. His fingers slipped gently around hers. Sooya looked down at their hands. Ren was quiet for a moment. Then he looked at her. I wanted to tell you something. Sooya looked at him. Yes. Ren took a small breath. I love you. Her eyes widened slightly. He continued before she could say anything. You don't have to say it back. Sooya stayed quiet. I don't want you to feel like you have to say it just because I said it. His thumb gently brushed over the back of her hand. It's just how I feel. He smiled softly. And I wanted you to know. Sooya's heart was beating faster. She didn't know what to say. Ren looked at her for another moment. There's one more thing. What? Actually, I wanted to ask you something. He paused. Is there anything you want to tell me? Sooya's heart suddenly stopped. Ren continued, completely unaware of the storm inside her. Anything that's been on your mind. Anything you've wanted me to know but haven't been able to say. His voice became softer. You can tell me anything, Sooya. He squeezed her hand. I won't judge you. Then he looked directly into her eyes. So if there's something you've been keeping inside. He smiled gently. Please tell me. Sooya stared at him. For the first time in a long time, the truth was right there. Waiting. She could finally tell him. She opened her mouth. Ren, Sooya froze. The words were right there. She had been waiting for this moment from the very beginning. From the first day she met Ren. From the moment she'd accidentally looked into his eyes and said the wrong words. From the moment she'd realized she had approached the wrong boy. She had wanted to tell him. She had promised herself she would tell him. Again and again. Tomorrow. After class. When the timing was right. And now, the timing was perfect. Ren was sitting right in front of her, holding her hand, looking at her, actually asking her to tell him anything. This was what she had been waiting for, wasn't it? She should tell him. She should finally say it. Ren, there's something you don't know. Our relationship started because of a misunderstanding. I didn't actually mean to ask you out. The words formed inside her head. But when she tried to speak, nothing came out. Her lips parted, then closed again. Ren waited patiently. Sooya. She looked at him. Why couldn't she say it? She had wanted to tell him for so long. So why did it suddenly feel impossible? Then memories began rushing through her mind. The first time they met. Her terrible confession. His surprised face. I like you too. The first time he called her. Hello, girlfriend. The way he carried her bag. The coffee he remembered. The umbrella. Their arguments. His jealousy. The way he openly told everyone he liked her. The way he made her laugh when she was upset. The day she cried in front of him. His handkerchief. His arms around her. Their first hug. The way she had rested against him without even thinking. Her birthday. The private garden. The cake. The stars. The guitar. His hand holding hers. I love you. All those little moments. All those ordinary days. All the time she had looked for him without realizing it. All the time she had needed him. And somewhere along the way, the accident had disappeared. It wasn't what defined them anymore. She had once been terrified that Ren was living inside a misunderstanding. But now she realized something. Maybe she was the one who had been holding onto the misunderstanding. Because the girl who had accidentally confessed to Ren on that first day wasn't the same girl sitting beside him now. Back then, she had accidentally said I like you. Now she knew she meant it. She looked down at their intertwined hands. The truth hadn't changed. It had simply become something different. The relationship that had started accidentally had become something she had chosen every single day afterward. Ren gently squeezed her hand. You don't have to tell me if you're not ready. Sooya looked up at him. And suddenly she knew. She didn't want to tell him about the accident. Not tonight. Maybe not because she was afraid. Maybe because for the first time she understood what she actually wanted to say. She smiled through the tears gathering in her eyes. I do have something to tell you. Ren waited. Sooya took a breath. I love you too. For a moment, Ren simply stared at her. Then his smile slowly appeared. And Sooya realized that perhaps that was the only truth she had been trying to find all along. Sooya sat in front of her mirror, slowly brushing through her hair. Outside her room, the house was buzzing. Someone was calling for extra flowers. Her mother was reminding someone about tomorrow's arrangements. Mia had already come into the room 3 times, forgotten something each time, and gone back out. Every few minutes, another voice floated through the hallway. Sooya smiled as she listened to all of it. Tomorrow was going to be a big day. She looked at the dress hanging beside her. Then at the small box sitting on her table. Her wedding ring. She picked it up and turned it between her fingers. A strange feeling settled in her chest. Not nervousness. More like disbelief. Tomorrow she was getting married. To Ren. She smiled. Ren. Even saying his name made her smile now. She leaned back in her chair and looked toward the ceiling. Her mind wandered through everything that had happened between them. The first meeting. The first ridiculous confession. Their first argument. Their first hug. The birthdays. The countless ordinary days. So many memories. So many years. And then suddenly, one particular memory stopped her. The beginning. How they had actually started. Sooya's smile slowly disappeared. She stared at the ring in her hand. There was something Ren still didn't know. Something she had almost forgotten herself. Something that had started as a misunderstanding and somehow turned into the love she was about to marry. Sooya was just about to put the ring back in its box when her phone started ringing. She glanced at the screen. Ren. She smiled and answered. Hello. Look outside. She frowned. Why? Just look. Sooya walked toward her window and pulled the curtain aside. Her eyes widened. Ren was standing in the garden below, looking up at her. She stared at him through the window. You're here. Obviously. What are you doing in my garden? I wanted to see you. Ren, it's almost midnight. I know. My family is downstairs. So what will they think if they see me sneaking out to meet you? Ren thought for a moment. They'll think you're meeting your boyfriend. Sooya gave him an incredulous look. We're not dating anymore. I know. We're getting married tomorrow. Exactly. So I can't sneak out of my house to meet you like we're teenagers. Why not? Because it's embarrassing. Ren smiled. No one has to know. My family will know. Then don't get caught. Sooya covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. You're being ridiculous. Please. No. Please. Ren. 5 minutes. No. 3. She shook her head. You're actually childish. I know. He smiled up at her. Come on. Sooya tried to stay serious. She really did. But eventually she laughed. Fine. Ren immediately smiled. But if my mother catches me, I'm blaming you. Deal. And if anyone asks, I was sleepwalking. Perfect. You're impossible. I'll wait. Sooya looked at him through the window. He was still smiling. She smiled back. Give me a minute. She ended the call and quietly slipped out of her room. She made her way downstairs, careful not to make any noise, then quietly stepped outside and headed toward the garden. Ren was still waiting. The moment he saw her, his face lit up. There she is. Sooya crossed her arms. You're unbelievable. I know. You made me sneak out of my own house. Technically, you chose to. You convinced me. Still counts. She laughed. Ren stepped closer. So? He looked at her with an overly serious expression. How does it feel? To be standing in your garden at midnight? No. He paused dramatically. To be spending your last night as my girlfriend. Sooya stared at him, then burst out laughing. Last night. Technically. Tomorrow you get upgraded. Upgraded. Girlfriend becomes wife. Sooya shook her head. You're so stupid. Thank you. That wasn't a compliment. I accepted it as one. She laughed again. Ren looked at her for a moment, then smiled. So how does it feel? To marry you? He nodded. So? She pretended to think. I'm still considering whether I should cancel. Ren's eyes widened. Excuse me. I have until tomorrow morning. No, you don't. Why? I already told everyone you're my wife-to-be. She laughed. You're impossible. And you're stuck with me. So it seems. He smiled, then looked at her. You look beautiful. Sooya's teasing expression softened. Thank you. Ren reached for her hand. So tomorrow, you'll be my wife. She smiled. And you'll finally stop calling me girlfriend. Ren looked genuinely offended. Absolutely not. She laughed. Ren, I've been calling you girlfriend for years. I'm not giving it up that easily. You're going to call your wife girlfriend? Sometimes. Okay. Most of the time. Sooya shook her head, smiling. I'm marrying an idiot. Ren grinned. You're idiot. She looked at him. Unfortunately. Fortunately. For a while they simply stayed there together. Ren had his arms around her, and Sooya rested her head against him, feeling completely at peace. Then slowly a thought came back to her. The one thing she had kept inside for years. She hesitated before finally pulling back. Ren. He looked at her. What? Sooya looked down at their hands. Tomorrow they were getting married. She couldn't hide it anymore. Not from him. Not before they started their marriage. I need to tell you something. His expression softened. Okay. Sooya took a breath. Do you remember how we first started dating? Ren looked at her quietly. It wasn't supposed to happen. She swallowed. I wasn't actually trying to ask you out. She looked down again. I came to you because Mia liked Kai. Ren stayed silent. And I thought you were Kai. Her voice became softer. And when I was trying to say my friend likes you, I got nervous and said. She paused. I like you. She finally looked up at him. I kept meaning to tell you. Her eyes became watery. I really did. But then every day something happened. And then you became so important to me that I didn't know how to tell you anymore. She took a shaky breath. I know I should have told you a long time ago. Ren simply looked at her. Sooya's heart began pounding. Is he angry? Is he hurt? Will he cancel the wedding? Then a soft smile appeared on Ren's face. Sooya blinked. Aren't you angry? Ren shook his head gently. I already knew. She froze. You knew. He nodded. From the beginning. Sooya's eyes widened. Then why didn't you say anything? Ren looked at her quietly, that same soft smile still lingering on his face. Because you had a chance to tell me. Sooya's heart skipped. He paused. You had a chance to tell me. His eyes stayed on hers. But you didn't. The end.